prosecutor, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Mr. Hurt, we've been at this close to 3 hours. We will, if you can hang with us, we'd like to keep going. There's a chance we could complete votes by the time we have to go to votes on the House floor, which would be about 1:40.
I can keep going, Chairman.
Okay, then we'll try to do that. There's a chance we may not too, but I just wanted you to know the lay of the land. Now I yield to the gentleman from Colorado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Hurt, for your testimony and for your service as a prosecutor at the Department of Justice. I want to focus a bit more on the progress of the investigation and kind of some process questions. So you were appointed by Attorney General Garland as special counsel to investigate the president's handling of classified documents in January of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And Attorney General Garland, of course, as you know, was nominated by President Biden to serve in his role.
Correct.
During your 15-month investigation, did the Attorney General attempt to interfere with your investigation?
No.
Did he impede your investigation in any way?
No.
Did any other member of the Department of Justice or within the administration refuse to cooperate with your investigation?
No.
Were you ever denied access to materials, witnesses, resources from Attorney General Garland that you might have needed during the investigation?
No.
You submitted, I think this is right, your final report to Attorney General Garland on February 5th of 2024.
Correct.
Right, okay. And it was then released publicly 3 days later, on February 8th of 2024. Is that right?
I believe that's true, yes.
In the final report that was released, were any of your substantive findings redacted or changed in any way?
No.
None of your findings were modified by the Attorney General?
No.
Did the Attorney General issue any kind of statement or a letter attempting to describe the contents of your report?
No.
Okay. You're familiar, I know, I'm sure, with the investigation that was conducted by Special Counsel Mueller years ago with respect to the former president.
Yes.
And at that time, Attorney General Barr was in charge of the Justice Department. He sat where you sat in this committee. I remember it well, just a few short years ago, testifying on the nature of that particular investigation. Are you familiar with the way in which he released that report and characterized it?
Yes.
Okay. Very different from the way that Attorney General Garland conducted this particular release. I take it you'd agree with that.
They were not the same approach.
Not the same approach, right? In the case of Attorney General Garland, no impeding or interfering with your investigation in any way whatsoever, releasing the report in full to the American public, not attempting to mischaracterize it or describe it in any way. Dissimilar from Attorney General Barr, who 5 years ago, as you recall, after Special Counsel Mueller submitted his report to the Department of Justice, took nearly a month to release the report to the American public, heavily redacted, and not before he had issued a letter of his own to the leaders of the Senate and House Judiciary Committees, mischaracterizing the contents of that report. That distinction and difference is very important because from your testimony, at least from what I gleaned from your testimony, is that Attorney General Garland acted appropriately and ethically with respect to this investigation. I take it you agree.
Attorney General Garland did not interfere with my efforts, and I was able to conduct a fair, thorough, and independent investigation.
Very different approach, as you said, from the way in which the Department of Justice, unfortunately, tragically, functioned under the former president. I'm going to yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Alabama is recognized for 5 minutes. Would the gentleman yield for 10 seconds? Gentleman from...
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would just point out to the gentleman